Hi, I'm Lisa Von Drasek from the University of Minnesota Archives and Special Collections, the Children's Literature Research Collections, and today for Read This Book we have
Bill Pederson from the University of Minnesota Music Library.
So you're from the Music Library, so I'm not surprised that today you brought us.
I brought you some books about Bob Dylan. We have lots of things at the Music Library, and I kind of wanted just to point out that there are things for everyone. That's not all totally cerebral. So I brought two different biographies. Well, we'll say that one is a biography and one is a biography of Dylan fans.
Let's start with Bob Dylan, American Troubadour.
Yes, Bob Dylan, American Troubadour by Donald Brown is a recent biography that came out in 2014. Let's just say, let me hand this to you.
Okay.
Let me just say that it's interesting because it places his work and his life into 9 different periods. And it also puts those in a larger historical context. There's a wonderful timeline in the front that talks about life events of Bob Dylan and places them within life events of the United States. So comparing his time in the Village to, say, the Stonewall riots.
And so when we're looking at Bob Dylan's life, did you say they're in certain segments?
Yeah, he puts 9 different periods of his life.
So would we begin in Hibbing, Minnesota?
We would. We'd begin at the very beginning in Hibbing, Minnesota. Bob Dylan, a native son, lived in Hibbing, lived in Duluth, spent some time here at the University of Minnesota.
And his early music was of what type?
Folk, protest songs, just a man and his guitar.
And so this is a biography set in the history of the United States.
Right.
And Bob Dylan's life.
Yes.
And if we were going to move on from Bob Dylan's life to the people who are the fans of Bob Dylan.
Oh yes, we have The Dylanologists by David Finney. Now the Dylanologists, one might call them fans or fanatics. This book is just fascinating. It talks about people who make annual pilgrimages to Hibbing, Minnesota, who know the name of his grandmother, to the people who, camp out outside of his house and dig through his garbage to find out what he eats for dinner.
Did you tell me his favorite pie
was?
was?
I've learned that his favorite pie is cherry pie, which is also my favorite pie.
And so these Dylanologists, these are fanatical Dylan fans who do they write blogs?
They write blogs, they post on Facebook, and they also just live their lives together, feeding off of the fandom.
So they're a community of people who adore
Right.
Bob Dylan. And I had a question for the next book. If I had a Dylanologist in my life, is there a new title that I could give for the holidays?
Of course. So there is a new book out of lyrics. This is the previous version for Bob Dylan, published by Simon & Schuster. That's his whole work, 1965 to 2012.
So this is Bob Dylan, the lyrics.
Bob Dylan lyrics.
And so it's his body of work.
It's his body of work that can be sifted through and judged. It's really, as somebody who hadn't listened to a lot of Bob Dylan before reading through these things, it's really deep. There's some protest in there. There's old-fashioned storytelling, premonitions of hardship.
And so when we're thinking about these 3 books and your library, would you say if I have any questions about Bob Dylan, I could call you for reference?
You could call me. I would probably be able to answer those for you.
And that's the gift of the University of Minnesota libraries. We're open access to anyone who wants information.
Yes.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for this Read This Book.